Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Tyranny. In the last, admittedly very uneventful episode, all we did was to talk to people. We had a chat with each and every one of our traveling companions before we came to Tunon's court here in the Bastard City, and there is Tunon himself, the Adjudicator, Archon of Justice, and our boss. So we had an audience with Tunon, and he basically asked that what happened in Vengeance Well. Why are the Disfavored and the Scarlet Chorus at civil war with each other? And then he gave us a new assignment to investigate that whether the Disfavored, the Scarlet Chorus, or both of them have committed a treason and jeopardized the conquest. So that's the new assignment that he gave us. And then we also ask him about Barrick's armor, which simply won't come off, and thanks to Kairos' Edict of Storms. So we asked him if it was possible to assign a forge-bound matesmith to help Barrick to get rid of this armor of his, so he can finally be free from his iron spiky iron throne. But Tunon said that no. No. All the forge pounds have to make weapons 24/7. No delays, no exceptions, no nothing. And he even went as far as to say that no one loyal to Kairos should help Barrick to get rid of his armor, which is quite harsh, if you ask me. But yeah, so that's what he said. So unfortunately, and things are not looking very good for Barrick. But I'm sure that we can find a way to help him out. I'm sure that we can find that, maybe in the Bastard's Wound once we get there. And speaking about Bastard's Wound, I'm wondering how we get there. If I remember correctly, when I watched Haas Gaming's a review of the Bastard's Wound, I think he said that Tunon sends a letter to you, where he mentions this Bastard's Wound or whatever, and then that way we can get a quest to go there, if I remember correctly. But let's see. So what is this? The Will of Kairos archive. Oh wait. So let's see. What was this about? Oh yeah. So I wrote this. Archon Tunon. Am I to understand that the Edict of Execution applies equally to all within the Valley of Vengeance Well, Tearsman and servant of Kairos alike? Is the Overlord truly willing to sacrifice both the Archon of War and the Archon of Secrets, their armies, the farmers and herdsmen of the region, and a fatebinder of no small skill for the sake of killing a handful of insurgents occupying a crumbling ruin? It is not said that the Overlord has no desire to rule over a wasteland, Fatebinder Brehana, and this is his response, which we are reading quite late because this is not relevant anymore, of course, but still. Brehana, the wrath of the Overlord falls heavily upon those who have earned it, and we are but instruments of Kairos' terrible will. Disobedience, incompetence, and betrayal require the harshest possible response, lest the world falter and descend again into anarchy. Forget not who you serve, and know that all you do in the name of order and tranquility. That name is Kairos. Tunon, the Adjudicator Archon of Justice. Alright, so I don't see that we are. So yeah, it doesn't look like we have any other missives or missives. It doesn't look like we have any other new missives here or anything. And we have gone through all of these. All right. So we haven't got a new missive or letter from anyone yet regarding the Bastard's Wound. So maybe I'm have to do something else before we can go there. And speaking about that, I actually decided later on after finishing recording the last episode that in this episode we are gonna go all the way to the Stone Sea and to Cacophony. The howling masses of Nerat's horde reside here, amongst the dry, rocky plateaus clustered in the Stone Sea's outer rim. Though not resembling a traditional fortress, the Archon's chosen base of operations is exceedingly difficult to assault. So this is basically the capital, so to speak, of the Scarlet Chorus. So we are gonna go there because the Voice of Nerat is not exactly known for being the most patient fellow. So we'll be going there in this episode, and we'll see if we have enough time to go to Letayan's Crossing, and where the Sunset Spire is located. But let's see. But I want to hear if these guys have anything new to anything interesting to say. Oh yeah, and before we go, I also want to have a chat with all of my fellow fatebinders, Nunoval, Kallio, and Rogalus. But first, let's have a chat with Bloodmunch. Fatebinder, you are no stranger to Tunon's court, but I prefer to spend as little time here as possible. In spite of these closed walls, I feel strangely exposed. He glances up at Tunon. So good of you to join our little family with the Voices. We'll make you feel right at home. You'll make our time in the Tiers an interesting one, won't you? He smiles for an uncomfortably long time. Of course you will. You gave me something during the conquest. Tidecaster elders to interrogate. Now I'll give you something in return. Oh, okay. So this was about one of our conquest decisions. I'm quite sure, even though the game doesn't say it here. He whispers an arcane symbol in your ear, one that you won't soon forget. Aha. So we learned Sigil of Emotions. We haven't checked out her abilities yet, have we? No, we haven't, but I'll read them once we get to combat. And I think I should make 1 or 2 spells for her as well. Also, does she have... No, she doesn't have anything on her. Oh, damn! Where did we get these? Mirrored Stompers. When the hell did we get these? So these are heavy armor, bronze. Alright, so I guess I could use them, but you know, for items that are blue, and thus superior, these sure suck. Only gives us 1.5 more armor, but our recovery decreases a little bit, which is not that big of a deal. But minus 5% deflection and minus 3 disengagement defense is terrible. I guess we could give this to... Oh wait, we can't because the armor is fused on him. Of course we can't give it to him. And of course this is no good for either Verse or Ebb. Alright. But I have no idea where we got this from. What the hell is this? House seal. This seal was made with care and attention to detail. What the hell is this? When did we get this? This seal was made with care and attention to detail. You recognize its sigil from the merchant house, hand over quill. Maybe Lantry knows something about this. House seal cannot be removed from the stash. Okay. I seriously have no idea where we got this from. I guess we got these items after we finished the first act. And after getting the spire for ourselves. But yeah, so anyway, I want to give you... Well, oh, you have some potions here. Alright, well, since you have 3, let's give you 2. Anything else I want to give? +4 armor. Endurance defense. Well, I guess it makes sense to give it to me. And... what else? Will revive when defeated for 120 seconds. I guess we could give this to Verse. And... delay unconsciousness for 10 seconds for 120 seconds. Minus 20% move speed for 120 seconds, but plus 4 resolve for 120 seconds. Alright. Plus 20 athletics, plus 50% healing for 120 seconds, plus 4 vitality. This would be very good for Lantry if he was in our party right now. Plus 50% hit deflection for 120 seconds, plus parry and finesse. Yeah, I'm gonna give this to myself. And this is raw meat, but eating this is very risky because we can get sick from that. And let's give this to you. Alright. But what about the Disfavored? They're not going to be very happy, I'm sure. Albetronas. Fatebinder. The lieutenant gives you a curt nod. I'm ill at ease in this polished hall, but I admit that it's a reprieve from the battlefield and training grounds. If Ash needs me to stay here and represent his interests throughout the occupation, then I'll be up to the task. Right, well she didn't say anything too mean to us or anything, but I'm sure that she's not very happy with us. But now, before we leave these halls, Fatebinder Nunoval, let's start from you. Do you have anything interesting to say? Anything that could help our investigation? 2 nor favor 1. Ah, Brehana, you return, unscathed and more acclaimed than ever, as seems to be your way. The Fatebinder of war claps you good naturally, and with excessive strength on the back. Come, you must regale me with all that your journey has held. I could use a moment of respite between friends. He regards you with a warm, boisterous smile. Well, he sounds like a nice fellow. Speak as you wish. I would pay a boar's weight in rings to know your thoughts. He rakes a hand through his thick red beard and offers you a grin. Come, let us speak freely. How were you signed out to become a Fatebinder? I don't really care about his background, to be honest. I'm curious about Tunon's masks. We can ask about that a bit later. Could you remind me of the history and origin of the Fatebinders? Well, I guess we could ask this much. The seasoned warrior rubs a finger against the line of stubble along his cheek. We are a relatively young order, though we have spanned these past 2 centuries. 2 centuries. I will not exactly consider that as young. While the Voices of Nerat and Graven Ash need armies to execute their will, Tunon wields but a modest court of vassals. We exist as the extension of his law. There is no place in all of Terratus beyond our judgment. Alright. Tell me more about Kairos' armies, our allies. Ah yes, with friends like these, our work is often self-explanatory. Were you asking about the Scarlet Chorus or the Disfavored? Well, let's start with our favorites, the Scarlet Chorus. Scarlet Chorus soldiers hail from every corner of every realm. As the chorus marches, it conscripts indiscriminately from those it has conquered to replenish its ranks. There is no continuity of command in the chorus. Nerat allows, encourages even, the strong to challenge their leaders. But the chorus has numbers, and brute force is almost always a viable solution, much as Rogalus insists otherwise. And Rogalus was the other Fatebinder here. Besides, the Scarlet Chorus draws strength from the multitudes it swallows. Its bloodchanters have taken knowledge from various tiers mystics, and many of the chorus's best soldiers were grown here in the south. And the Disfavored? The Disfavored are the iron tip of Kairos' great phalanx. Armed with the best weapons, the most comprehensive training, and led by the brilliant Graven Ash, the Disfavored have no equals in open battle. The Legion has saying, Graven Ash protects, and it's no empty boast. The Archon of War is able to lend his will and strength to his soldiers and give them endurance beyond human limits. Ah, yeah. So this is why my character sees the my character sees the soldiers of the Disfavored rather weak, because they don't rely on their own strength alone, but Graven Ashes as well, who lends his strength and will to his soldiers so they can survive the battle. But she does respect Graven Ash a lot. She does respect him, but she doesn't respect his soldiers as much because she sees them as weaklings who just use his strength to survive. And in the case of the Scarlet Chorus, they only use their own strength. If they die, they die. They were not strong enough. Only strong survive in the Scarlet Chorus. But our character does not like the Voice of Nerat himself because, well, she simply doesn't trust him. But she does respect the strongest Scarlet Chorus soldiers because she can relate to them, being a former pit fighter herself, and she had to fight and earn her freedom. So anyway, I have great respect for the Disfavored, but I know where I stand with them. They are a very close-knit band, all of them from northern families, many of them related to each other. The novel signs, his smile wishful. But considering our role in the great hierarchy, I can't fault General Ash for being selective. Alright, let me ask about something else. Well, you have garnered my attention. So I have claimed the Spire at Vengeance well. I would hear of your past victories in the war or of recent events. Well, I am kinda interested in that, or my character is to be exact, but let's say this first. So I have claimed the Spire at Vengeance well. Oh, we got favor with Tunon. So the court's whispers are true. The Fatebinder rubs his fingers along the underside of his chin, pondering his thoughts with great weight. After a moment he offers you a wishful sort of smile. Someday I would like to witness for myself this tower that has risen above the realms like a blade thrust into the sky. I would hear of your past victories in the war or of recent events. Have you not yet tired of my tales, Brehana? I do admit I never tire of telling them. He laughs, hearty and deep. Very well then. Let me champion the feats of my conquest. Let the glory of Kairos rain fall on any ears that would hear of it. If but you could have come with me, my sister, on my latest mission to Haven. It was a rousing venture, rife with bloodshed and intrigue. Inspired by the Vendrian Guard, housed Tucenius had a change of heart regarding her loyalties to the Overlord, so I rode without rest on rumors that they had fled to Argent. Several days of hounding passed before I was able to locate them and rent their bellies. By my blade, the blood that once ruled Haven ran red in her streets. And I'm curious about Tunon's masks. They can be rather unsettling, can't they? Even to one such as me, but I can assure you, the innocent need not fear their objective, emotionless gaze. What of the Adjudicator's mask specifically would you like to know? I want to know about the Silent Face. The Silent Face is the face that Tunon shows to us now, and for that we are fortunate beyond belief. The Silent Face is a patient face, a face for listening as Tunon presides over all matters brought to the court, taking great pains to ensure all sides of an issue are heard. I want to know about the Face of Resolve. Tunon's last known dawning of the Face of Resolve was the moment he judged and called ruin to half the districts in the bastard city. Since then, he has ruled our northern tier justly, calmly and with efficient diplomacy. I want to know about the face that is no more. Tunon is said to have worn a third mask in eons past. I have heard rumor that the face displeased Kairos and thus was destroyed, as happens to all persons and objects that displease our overlord. Have you ever seen Tunon change his masks? In the way that you or I would change our raiment? No, not as much. And yet I have seen the masks shift. They switch without the adjudicator or anyone so much as laying a hand on them. It's not something you can watch unfold. After a time, you merely realize it has already happened. Magic. There is work enough for the court that we shouldn't occupy ourselves wondering over mysteries. Yeah, fair enough. Let me ask about something else. Well, fine, let's ask about this. How were you signed out to become a Fatebinder? Or how were you singled out to become a Fatebinder, even? I cannot speak for the other Fatebinders, but I joined the court when I was yet still a boy, and impenious beyond reason. I had been imprisoned with a death sentence for the crime of desecrating corpses. He laughs hard and hearty. It was nothing so exciting as you are no doubt imagining. I was merely burning corpses that awaited burial, before the local authority could see me to the gallows. The adjudicator claimed me a great talent waiting to be realized, needing only to be steered. Why burn the bodies? Corpses piling the streets spread plague faster than the filthiest of rats. I was but 10 and a weak fighter. I did what I could for my homeland. Well, alright, that sounds good, a good enough reason to me. So why was it a crime? There was a time when even the Northmen were of superstitious stock, a time before Kairos brought reason to the realms. The people of my city believed that, without proper rites, I was cheating our fallen warriors from returning to the land. Alright. Well, it's a good thing Tunon spared you. Favor with Tunon again. As I have said, the Adjudicator saw within me something of rare value, as is true for us all. You as well were chosen for our great court, for which I am grateful. As the Fatebinder of War, I rely heavily on your talents. Alright, farewell, that's everything. And then, Fatebinder Kallio. Let's see if talking is the only thing that we are gonna do in this episode as well. Let's hope not. Berhana, I see you have returned to the fold. Your exploits in Vengeance Well are the matter of some discussion. The Fatebinder of Balance regards you with a discerning eye, and for a moment you feel as if she is trying to peer into the very depths of your mind. What can I do for you? Kallio touches a gentle hand to your shoulder. Has anything happened while I was away? You seem to know much of my actions. Have you been spying on me? How have you occupied your time in the bastard city? So has anything happened while I was away? Nunovol was dispatched to Stalwart to break the stalemate between the locals and the Disfavored. He proclaimed Kairos' Edict of Storms, shattering the country with winds unending. Didn't this already happen during the conquest? While we were... I think that back then we were in Asure, or currently known as Stone Sea back then. I don't know. So, how have you occupied your time in the bastard city? Tunon sends me on assignments here and there. I settle disputes between the locals when the Adjudicator is otherwise occupied. She smirks. Everything from trade disagreements to pushing Chorus squatters out of basements. Real rewarding work. Yeah, I can imagine. She waves it off. The glory of war is not an honor reserved for the likes of us. We are the fish swimming in Tunon's wake, picking up scraps along the way. We are rather large and imposing compared to the bottom feeders of the tiers, but fish all the same. Okay. I don't really feel like asking this. You seem to know much of my actions. Have you been spying on me? I don't really feel like asking that. I would like to know more about Tunon. Tunon is our overlord's fair and exacting adjudicator. He speaks with the voice of Kairos' law, and his word is judgment. All of this and more you can learn by asking him yourself. Go on, or does he intimidate you still? She chuckles softly. I jest, of course. Well, I'm not gonna lie, he is kinda, well, intimidating. I have some concerns about the war. You are free to share them in my confidence. She leans in closer. We cannot rush the opposition with such weak efforts. We are too lenient. Bloodshed and brutality reign supreme. Peace cannot follow such cruelty. Our armies squabble at each other's throats. Divided, we cannot win. Pfft, of course we can. On second thought, let me ask something else. We cannot crush the opposition with such weak efforts. We are too lenient. I don't disagree with you, but bear in mind that these southern barbarians are being welcomed into the Empire. Kairos places no value in a mountain of Tearsman corpses, at least none that I could fathom. Can we say these other things? So, let's see. Bloodshed and brutality reign supreme. Peace cannot follow such cruelty. This sounds a bit too harsh, even for my character. Our armies squabble at each other's throats. Divided, we cannot win. I don't agree with that. On second thought, let me ask something else. Yeah, I don't really have Any other questions that I want to ask? You seem to know much of my actions. Have you been spying on me? I do kind of want to ask this, but my character doesn't really want to. So let's not ask that. And besides, I'm quite sure that if I ask this, she might get a little bit pissed. She might not appreciate it. Farewell. And lastly, Rogalus. Fatebinder, you return. Rogalus looks up and down with an inscrutable expression. You look as if you have questions for me to untangle. Ask. I am feeling generous. Tell me about some of the past Archons. What did you study when you were younger? What do you think about the other Fatebinders? Can you tell me about the Old Walls and the Bane? Yeah, I would actually like to ask about this. I would like to know more about the Tears. I want to talk about the Sages. What do you think about the other Fatebinders? You'll need to be more specific than that, I'm afraid. There is, on last count, slightly more than a handful of us. What's your opinion of the Fatebinder of War? It was Nunovan, whatever his name was. Nunoval's keen, brash and a hearty braggart with a fondness for bloodshed. He can be utterly unbearable at times. His justice is fair, even if he skews toward rather exacting and uncompromising punishments at times. And Fatebinder of Balance. Kallio is the finest among us. Her discernment is beyond reproach. And she is perhaps Tunon's favorite. So I'm not his favorite? Well, damn. She has a mind for suspicion and observation that makes others uneasy. We who operate within the confines of the law have nothing to fear, of course. And about me? I have pondered your impulsive nature. It vexes me constantly. Your support of the Scarlet Chorus only affirms my belief that you are among the more severe and unpredictable member of our office. Well, yeah, sounds about right. Let's talk about something else. Naturally, Fatebinder, what would you like to discuss? Can you tell me about the Old Walls and the Bane? With which should I start? Well, tell me about the Old Walls. Why they are why people are forbidden from entering the Old Walls. We know little enough about the ancient structures, save that they predate all historical record. The forbidden ruins crisscross the Tears and North alike centuries before we raised our cities. The only one old enough to guess is likely Kairos. Alright, so we don't really know much about them, and especially since it's forbidden to enter them. Tell me about the Bane. The Bane are found in the Old Walls, but much of their defining qualities still escape me. They are creatures of smoke, claw and fang. If you find yourself unfortunate enough to fight one, remember that spells are effective against them. Alright, good to know. But grab the attention of others lurking near. Alright, so spells are very effective against them. That's very good to know. Thank you. And something else? I would like to know more about the Tears. The political entities of the Tears are essentially split between the Bastard Tier, the Younger Realms, and the Free Cities. Of which would you like to know? And the Younger Realms? The realms of Azure, which is now known as the Stone Sea. I'm quite sure. Yeah. Apex, Stalwart, and Haven are collectively known as the Younger Realms, and together they represent the major political factions of the Tears. For centuries, the Younger Realms have battled amongst themselves for control of the Tears, with every realm having been at war with each other at some point in memorable history. This lack of unified resistance allowed Kairos' armies to swiftly conquer the Tears. Can you tell me about the Bastard Tier? The Bastard Tier is the most northern of the Tiers, and was the first to bow to Kairos' reign, though the knee they bent fell unwillingly. Kairos had his eye on the Bastard Tier for many years before he marched on her capital city. This is the hub of trade and commerce. Claim the markets and the people will follow. I'm curious to know more about the Younger Realms. The younger realms sprawl the middle and southernmost tiers and can be catalogued as follows: Apex, Azure, Haven, and Stalwart. Azure was renowned for its exceptionally fertile land, which fed the whole of the tiers. That was before Kairos' Edict of Stone blighted the land. Yeah, and we were the one who actually proclaimed the edict. Stalwart is also worth mentioning for it comprises the whole of the southernmost tier, and proves the toughest and most defensible of the realms. It is often said that the other realms will not fall while Stalwart yet stands. The local army wages bitter war against its favored, though the Edict of Storm has cut off the best of their defenses. It is only a matter of time before Stalwart falls. And I would like to hear about the free cities. There are 3 free cities remaining: Last Harbor, Spiral's Maw, and Barris in Change. The first and strongest of the 3 cities was the Setting Sun, which Kairos crushed in 429 with the Edict of Tumult. After that, the remaining 3 cities were quick to surrender. Well, I guess they're not that free anymore then. Back to my previous questions. I really care about the past Archons at this point. Or this. Farewell. Let's just leave. Okay, so we have talked to all these 3, and we have learned some information. So let's just leave. Oh yeah, almost forgot about him. Blade Mark. Welcome back, kid. Assuming as it would have been to watch the edict drop, I guess I'm glad you lived. Blade Mark, Archon of Shadows, rouses from a faraway stare, turning to face you with a wry smile. Though he stands still, he seems to sit in and out of the shadows that shroud him. Wrath with Blade Mark, and lost favor with Blade Mark. Okay. Sided with the Scarlet Chorus, huh? You like secrets and trickery. The Archon gives you a long stare, punctuated at the end with a short sneer. So I guess that Blade Mark is not a big fan of the Scarlet Chorus or the Voices of Nerat. I don't need morals to win a war. Time was of the essence, but Ash was slow to act. I sided with the Archon that could ensure my survival. What is it to you, Archon of the Elderly? Clear silently. Here to lecture me? If so, I'm somewhere else to be. What is it to you, Archon of the Elderly? Oh, we got actually favor with him. I'm actually surprised. Oh, that hurts. Almost as much as getting your fingernails ripped out. No, wait. Sorry, not even close. Were you aiming to wound me with that? I imagine you are off to meet with the Voices for, well, whatever it is he has in mind. But first, you and I need to have a little chat. Glare silently. Yeah, let's just glare silently. Everyone's keeping an eye on you, because you did something nobody has done before. Got a guess as to what that might be? I am the first Fatebinder to engage in war against an ally's soldiers. I am the first Fatebinder to proclaim 2 edicts. Well, it could be this. It could also be this, but not really something that's that remarkable or worth mentioning, I think. I'm the first to resolve an edict before its consequences came to pass. It could be this one too. But most likely not. I'm the first Fatebinder to awaken a spire of the old walls. Could also be this too, considering how it's forbidden to go to old walls normally. I'm the first person to take an evasive stance against your rhetorical questions. Something tells me that he would like it if he actually said this. Let me guess, I'm the first Fatebinder Kairos has decided to promote to some position of authority. Clear silently. I kinda want to say this. I'm the first person to take an evasive stance against your rhetorical questions. Let's see. I'm the first Fatebinder to proclaim 2 edicts. Yeah, it could very well be this. Now let's say this. I'm the first person to take an evasive stance against your rhetorical questions. I knew it, he liked it. Second, actually, but not that. The Archon raises an eyebrow and his golden eyes glimmer with the briefest hint of amusement. Proclaiming an edict isn't new, neither is surviving or resolving the commandments of an edict, but you are the first to proclaim and resolve the very same edict, and it didn't kill you. Alright. In one well swooped, you survived your second edict, resolved the very one you had proclaimed, and woke an arcane structure that had slept for several centuries. Why should I care about any of this? So, why are you telling me this? Did I do something wrong? Glares silently. And now I go on your short list of people who stand out as potential problems. I do like the fourth or the first option here, but which one should I go for? Why should I care about any of this? Yeah, why should I care about any of this?
Kairos only knows if you should, but others will hear of what you've done, and they'll assume it's important. They could come to see you as a rival for the Overlord's attention, and seek to remedy the problem of your rising significance.
And now there's voice acting all of a sudden. And now there's no more. I don't care what you do with the information, but you should know the danger you are in now, that you have put yourself on the map. When you're dealing with voices, don't forget that he'll be doing everything he can to figure out what makes you different, and how he can use it for his own gain. Oh yeah, I'm sure. I know that. I'm sure that's exactly what he tries to do. Thanks for the advice. Claire silently. Wait, there is still so much I want to ask you. Nah, not really. Let's just Claire silently. The Archon of Shadow shrugs to you in farewell, but his golden eyes are alight with interest as he watches you. Alright, so that was Blade and Mark, the Archon of Shadows, and Kairos' assassin. So let's leave and go for Cacophony. All the way to Stone Sea, and it will take 4 days and 3 hours. Luckily we don't need to worry about some other edicts or something, and time limits. And we got a random encounter. Yeah, I knew it. So, an uneventful day on the road is interrupted by a loud cry. An old man, dirt-encrusted and wild-eyed, dressed in little more than tattered rags, emerges from the brush, charging feebly towards you with a sword held high. For Apex! His sandals catch a tree root, sending him tumbling into the dirt. His brittle blade strikes the ground first, snapping in two. He clutches his ribs and whispers a low groan, lying on the ground for an uncomfortably long time. His moans give way to rhythmic heavy breathing, and just as you step forward to determine if the old man has fallen asleep, he picks himself up, whacking the useless blade at you. The day is ours, dogs of Kairos. The man continues to ramble, and it soon becomes clear that he believes himself late for the first battle of Apex. He is correct. In a sense, the battle was waged over 2 years ago. Blissfully unaware of his kinsman's failure, he demands your surrender before generously offering to settle for a mere ransom. Alright, we can either kill him, convince him that you are not an enemy and give him some rings. No. Disarm him and spare his life. Or subterfuge 40, convince him to wage war against Craven Ash. Our character wouldn't really bother to do that, and besides, it's just one old man. So what good would he do? But let's just disarm him and spare his life. As he continues to shout, you calmly reach out and grab the cross guard of his sword, sliding the weapon out of his loose grip without the old man even noticing. He stops yelling for a moment to catch his breath, only then noticing he's been disarmed. He clutches at his rags, hands darting from one pocket to another as if the weapon had been mistakenly stowed in one of them. His right hand clutches at something solid, and with a defiant laugh he brandishes a half-eaten drumstick. tired of this distraction, you brush past the man and continue down the path. He swings wildly with the drumstick as you pass, incensed by your defiance. It bounces off your shoulder, strips of meat flying from it, and lands unceremoniously in the mud. You ignore his cries and continue on, content to let the old man tire himself out. Eventually the shout ceases. In its place you hear the sounds of a confused man ravenously devouring his last morsels of chicken. Okay. Toughened. So we got +2 bite, +2 quickness, and +2 vitality from this random encounter with a crazy old man. Okay. That was a bit weird. But any more random encounters? Nope. Alright. And here we are. So this is Cacophony. Does it look like much now, does it? Welcome to Cacophony, Fatebinder. Nerat said to be expecting you. Where can I find the Voice of Nerat? What can you tell me about Cacophony? It's the main stronghold of the Scarlet Chorus in the tiers. All Chorus groups have some of their people here. Horde, Scarlet Furies, Bloodchanters, Bloodhound, even the Beastmen. Everybody's got their own section of a camp. Better that way. Keeps the brawl into a minimum. We got a merchant here if you need to buy something. Or sell something because we got lots of crap to sell. There's also the Quartermaster, but Nerat's gotta give him the say-so before you are allowed to get your hands on Chorus's goods. Alright, fair enough. And where's Nerat? Northeast corner of the camp even. Near the only real buildings left. If he's not on his throne, he's wandering not too far from it. Alright. So here's the merchant. So I'm not allowed to sell you anything. Oh wait, she's the quartermaster, alright. What about this one? Here we go. Welcome, Fatebinder. Can I interest you in my wares? Show me what you have for sale then. Not much, no. And this will cost a fuck ton. Alright, so what do we want to sell away? Yeah, I don't think that we're gonna I don't think we're gonna need any of these. Nope. Then we sell this crap. And iron javelin. Let's check that real fast. Nah, it's not good. Then we don't need these. And I guess we don't really need this anymore either. Oh, this. Another iron javelin, sell that bad boy away. Broken dagger, and yeah, we don't need this either. And Barrack, you got this bow, but is it any better than what first got? No. And we sell this away. This, and yeah, we are gonna sell this away as well. And Ep, you got nothing else on you. And in our stash, do we have anything? Yeah, we got this, we don't need this. Alright. And camping supplies, we still got 5 camping supplies, and I'm sure that we can find one more from somewhere, maybe even from this camp. So I don't really, I don't think I should buy one here. So we got 90 bronze rings. All right. No.
Cut the banter and stay low.
No, I didn't want to press that. Let's see. I want to see if there's some loot that we can get. What's this? Heavy armor, heavy bronze armor. So,
Sorry, I can't.
I guess we could just let's see. So +2 armor, that's good. Ah, but it's minus 12% deflection, then fuck that. And but it seems to be slightly better than what Barrick is wearing. But again, we can't get rid of this fused armor just yet. But let's hold on to this for now.
Nothing I can't handle.
Unlock that. Oh, what do we have here? Greater healing potion. Fuck yes. And there we go. Camping supplies. Good thing that I didn't buy one from there earlier. And I think that these two are having a heated argument here. Dirch or Dirk and Ratrot. Okay. Well, let's hear what's going on here. Ratrot. Just what we need. A fatebinder of the courts. Look, I understand my rank, but I can't just bite my tongue when bossman Dirk thinks to get away with a crime of such proportions without bribing me first. He grins maniacally, staring daggers at his gang boss, even as he speaks to you. Frick you, Ratrot. Dirk shakes his head, murder written in his sneer. As if you would settle for a rent, rump, and a fistful of rings. Admit it, the price you want my head, so you can stand atop our little crew. So, what crime is being charged? A lot of you are babbling idiots, alright. What are you on about? What crime is being charged? A capital of one, Fatebinder, and I saw it with my own eyes. 3 nights back, bossman snuck into and out of the old walls, running wisdom rise. You shitface! Dirk barks at his subordinate. Think you can steal the throne when you are breathing around my blade in your chest? Or maybe it's your crafty forked tongue I should carve out first. He crosses his arms over his chest, simmering with indignation. But as he scowls, a hint of worry flickers across his furrowed brow. He licks his lips before entreating you to dismiss the complaint against him. Like I would be dumb enough to risk my entrails scurrying about some fusty ruins. Think I don't know why they are forbidden? Scouring the old walls is just asking to incite Kairos' wrath, and I have got no death wish, either from the Bane within, nor Kairos above, nor a fatebinder of Tunon before me. The old walls are indeed forbidden. There is no leniency in the interpretation of his law. I can sentence you now, Dirk, or I can hear your plea and adjudicate a fair ruling. False accusation is an insidious crime, Ratrot. What proof do you have of your claims? Say nothing, wait for them to continue. If I involve myself in this dispute, you may both come to regret it. This is an interesting one. If I involve myself in this dispute, you may both come to regret it. Well, let's just say this. False accusation is an insidious crime, Ratrot. What proof do you have of your claims? Proof? Like what? It's not like I followed him into the old wall, so I could probably document his transgressions. I saw him go in and out, chasing that sage. That ought to be evidence enough. Ah, so he was chasing the sage. Didn't mention that earlier. If it's solid evidence you need, let's go check where the sage's body lies. He spits indignant. A sage in the old walls? What sage? Only those under direct orders from the Overlord or operating under agency of Tunon's court may enter the old walls. Only those under direct orders from the Overlord or operating under agency of Tunon's court may enter the old walls. Oh yes, of course. Why are you so eager for me to sentence Dirk, Ratroth? Well, let's ask about the sage first. Want to tell the Fatebinder or should I? He laughs, vicious. The gang boss cocks his head to you, face flushed red as he explains. The thing is, me and Rat had been chasing a sage clear from the Thians. I guess she figured she wasn't going to slip us, so she made a beeline for this breach in the old walls. I know the law, so I wasn't about to follow her in. He wets his lips before continuing. But I would also be loath to let an enemy of the Overlord slither free, so I cornered her before she could make it past the breach. This asshole here's the one who slit her damn throat as I held her down. Now he's saying he watched me waltz right into the old walls. Without him. Oh, come on, Fatebinder. Are you gonna believe that? I called you over here. I'm telling you what happened. Don't let him weasel out of a proper sentence. Did you take anything from the old walls or touch anything? Why are you so eager for me to sentence Turk, Ratroth? Eager? The Horde member rubs at the back of his neck, ill at ease. I mean, I'm just thinking, on account of Turk being a true criminal under Karas's laws, he really isn't fit to lead this gang no more. So somebody like me ought to be running things. Something tells me that Ratroth just wants to be the one ruling the gang, and he wants to get rid of Dirk, his boss, by making me to sentence him for his crimes, and then he takes over the gang without actually fighting him. You see, Fatebinder, all he has is his scheming and lies. He knows he'll lose if he challenges me outright, so he thought he would accuse me of a crime even the voices couldn't dismiss. He stares icily at Ratnot. Yeah, I'm thinking so too. Only those under direct orders from the Overlord for operating under agency of Tunon's court may enter the old walls. Did you take anything from the old walls? The penalty for false accusation is the severance of 2 fingers on the sword bearing hand. Oh, that's brutal. I'm sorry. I let Ratnot choose his own punishment. A fine of 300 rings or 3 years of hard labor. Subterfuge 36. The penalty for false accusation is death by impalement. I let Ratnot off the hook if he licks my boots and begs my apology. I let Ratnot off the hook if he licks Barrack's foot and begs my apology. Well, that's an interesting one. Enough. I find both of you guilty for wasting the Fatebinder's time. 50 lashes each. Well, to be fair, it was Ratroth who called us here. The penalty for false accusation is the severance of 2 fingers on the sword-bearing hand. Favor with the Scarlet Chorus and gained favor with Tunon. Nicely put, Fatebinder. Ratroth's an idiot and a liar to boot. Give him a piece of justice for thinking he can take what's mine. No, wait, you can't. This hasn't turned out right at all. Fatebinder, please have mercy. It was all a misunderstanding, you see. Of course it was. That's how you do it. Leave them guessing. I wager the next one to seek out your justice might think twice about it. All the better for us. All right, so I guess 2 fingers are now being cut off from his sword-bearing hand. These 2 are dueling. All right. Let's see. Splinter. You are named one. Maybe you are someone important. Maybe we get a quest from you or something. Overlord's blessings to you, Fatebinder. Regards and so on and so forth. Mightn't there be something I can help you with? For the right price. What kind of price? What were you up to during the war? Heard any rumors lately? Any news of interest going around Cacophony? I'm looking to shed a little blood. Make a few rings. Where can you point me? So, heard any rumors lately? Nothing new. Only the usual happenstances. So and so killing, so and so in their sleep and absorbing their gang. Leaders from throughout the tiers entering whose tent and never stepping out again. The Voices doesn't even leave a body. How do you think he does that? No, on second thought, I surely don't want to know. He licks his tongue over his teeth, scratches his cheek, and you did not hear so much as a whisper from me. Lord 25, but I heard some of his victims end up on spikes, no? What kind? Yeah. Sometimes something shows up on the spikes nearest the Voices' tent, sure. But whatever it is, you can't exactly call it a body anymore. Get me? I'm looking to shed a little blood. Make a few rings. Where can you point me? I might have heard wind regarding a squad of Disfavored that are giving the Bronze Brotherhood a go of it near Lethian's Crossing. Could be some rings in it for you. There's certainly some fingers to be had. You want me to bring back some Disfavored fingers? Broken Plains Wilderness now unlocked on the world map. I want every finger from every hand, preferably taken before you kill the poor muckers. Do it and I'll pay you 10 rings each. Don't ask me where I'm getting the rings. I'll make it 15. Alright. What were you up to during the war? Trying to stay alive, mostly. Alright. Have a story behind your name, Splinter? Well, I woke up with a sharp pain shooting up my backside one night, and... Are you sure you want to hear this? I woke up with a sharp pain shooting up my backside one night. You know what? Yes, please do continue. I guess it was a piece of a chair, at least as long as my forearm. My mate, Abscess, had whittled it up for weeks to stab it in my spine. Only it didn't kill me though. Just give me this damn limp. He rubs the spot on his lower back toward the right side, wincing either from the pressure or the memory. I wouldn't say it was a shoddy weapon. It ended her good and dead when I stuck it in her throat. Alright, well that's tragic. His mate trying to kill him. Alright, that's everything then. So we got a new quest. Opportune Offensive. Chorus scouts have reported the Disfavored and Bronze Brotherhood. And in case you don't know who Bronze Brotherhood is... Well damn, there's lots of text here. So Bronze Brotherhood. The Bronze Brotherhood is a mercenary company from the Free Cities dotting the Tyr's southern coast. Many of these mercenary companies were employed by Karas' agents and slaughtered during the war. The Bronze Brotherhood survived thanks to their relatively safe posting at Lethian's Crossing, where the Voices of Nerat hired the company to help protect the town's forge operation. Among the most trained and dedicated warriors of the Tyrs, the Bronze Brotherhood have a reputation for ruthlessness and tenacity. Aggression and decisive thinking are so highly prized by the Brotherhood that the violent, enigmatic Scourge is the group's mascot, a creature most decent folk consider the stuff of nightmares. The term brother is used for mercenaries of both genders, as the company's title harkens back to the archaic notion of living as men. In Tyr's custom, this amounts to releasing all claims to lands, to better assure an employer that the Brotherhood won't covet the realms they are paid to protect. Interesting. So anyway, Chorus scouts have reported this Disfavored and Bronze Brotherhood are fighting each other in the wilderness not far from the Lethian's Crossing. Splinter thinks this would be a good opportunity to strike a blow against the Disfavored while they are weakened and distracted. So find where the Disfavored and Bronze Brotherhood are engaged in combat. Alright. And there's some other named people here. Maybe there's another dispute that we have to resolve. And there's some loot here in this small tent. Just some meat and grain.
Sorry, I can't.
And I can see some loot here on the map here. Down here. You don't mind if I take this, do you? Holy shit! Blood-soaked mantle. Exquisite quality. So Frenzy, minus 15 recovery time while has wounds. While has wounds. Interesting. Most mage guilds eschew superstition and believe none of the tales that the clothing of a murdered man can augment one's performance in battle. Bloodchanters considered exiles of the accepted magical norms are less discriminating. Alright. This would be very, very good on both Ebb and Lantry. Oh damn it! I forgot to actually bring Barrick back to the Spire in Vengeance well, so we could have taken Lantry with us. But never, whatever. It it's not like we are gonna fight here or anything anyway. More named people, and we can also rest here apparently. That's good. Hide, breast blood pollen, and iron ingot for crafting. And what's over here? I guess that's Beastman's area. But let's see what these four are up to. Maybe they have a quest for us. Fatebinder, hear me out for a moment, will you? Alright, what do you got? We have got a problem we can settle, Fatebinder. When we plotted against vile arson, we agreed we would split the spoils 4 ways. But now that the rings, rocks and booze bottles are laid bare before us, seems some folks feel entitled to more than their fair share. You want me to educate a settlement between thieves? Who's vile arson? A deranged pisser of a man and our old gang boss. He deserved everything he got and more. The horde members all nod as Requiem. Do I say it right? Requiem explains. He stole whole cartfuls of rings and polished stones after Azure crumbled. We dug the items up, hauled bags of them all over the place, but got none of the payoff. Plus he used to beat Calamity, Chin and gnashing nails for fun. Well, he sounds like an ass. You want me to educate a settlement between thieves? Only those two. He didn't beat the rest of you? So you want me to educate a settlement between thieves? Thieves? We didn't filch nothing. We killed vile arson and took his property by right of this circle of fifths. By the right of the circle of fifths. Is Circle of Fifths the name of your gang? She nods. Lil Gnashin Nils is right. As our weakest, she's earned a right to these spoils. Most of all for the abuse vile arson heaped on her over the years. I hear your plea if everyone is in agreement of my involvement. That's a pretty loose interpretation of your Archon's laws. The strong lead, the weak serve. Doesn't give you permission to freely murder others. The strong lead, the weak serve. Doesn't give you permission to freely murder others. Well, actually, I think it kinda does, at least in the Scarlet Chorus. I hear your plea if everyone is in agreement of my involvement. The quarry woman nods. I certainly am. I would like to settle this and put it behind us. What of the rest of you? I also am interested in this Fatebinder's ruling. Let an outsider wade in. Surely then you would see the greater weight of my contributions. One of the more timid horde members ducks her head, scratching through the back of her hair. Are you sure? I have heard bad things about inviting the court's judgment. Once a Fatebinder gets involved, their ruling is absolute, isn't it? She glances to Requiem and Chaos, reading their clues before she relents. Okay, I guess I'll go with it. The last one shrugs. Doesn't matter to me. I already decided to give up my share. I just wanted the bastard dead. Ah, well, isn't that generous of you? Then let us proceed. Tell me what happened and I'll determine how the goods should be dispersed. I'll hear you out, but know that my judgment may come at a cost. Nah. Subterfuge 21, lie. Go on, but I should tell you now. I'll know if you try to lie to me. Then let us proceed, or should I say this? I'll know if you try to lie to me. Put a little fear in these fellas. Nah, I don't really care about that too much. Then let us proceed. Tell me what happened, and I'll determine how the goods should be dispersed. She cracks her neck and squares her back, eager to rely her part and be done with it. We all got tired of being cut on and watching him torture Nils. So when Requiem suggested the plan, I was eager to lure him into our trap. She glances around and speaks a little softer as she continues. Had to use my finest hoosh. I brewed it in a bronze boot I found on the battlefield. but after a couple of hours I had him nice and relaxed, strip him off his armor, and distracted him after that. I wonder how. That's when I snuck out from under the straw bedding. She runs a hand over the bloody markings on her skin, long dried but worn out of pride. Arson never did anything, eat, sleep, or shit without a weapon, but we had hobbled him enough that I was able to hack him to ribbons. Eventually he started crawling for the flap of the tent, where Requiem had stationed me. He crosses his arms over his chest, standing broad and tall. I slit Arson's throat to end it, dismembered his body, and spent the night in scattering his bits between the fighting pit, 2 lanterns, and a salivating beastman. It was bloody and long work, but it was damn worth it. The last gang member flushes and shyly turns her face away under your scrutinizing gaze. I just stood to watch a few tents down. I'm sure someone heard the screams, but no one came running, so it worked out fine. I've made my decision. You each seem equally satisfied with the outcome of events. Why are you fighting over the goods then? Who will lead you in vile Arson's absence? Without a moment's hesitation, the quiet girl speaks up, sounding more sure than she has the entire exchange. Requiem, she saved us. Requiem? He nods brusquely. I would follow these girls into the screaming jaws of death if they ask me to. I don't care which one's leading us when we get there. Alright, well, good to know. At least you have settled on that. You each seem equally satisfied with the outcome of events. Why are you fighting over the goods then? The Horde member rubs her chin as if wondering herself. Finally she offers a carefree grin. Guess it's just in our nature. If we don't take what we can, then we can get it. Then how'll we ever get ahead? Well, alright, I've made my decision. Come on, Fatebinder. The weight's killing me. What's your call? She cracks her back. Restless. The majority of the shares will go to Gnashing Nils in recompense for the crime she suffered at the hands of vile Arson, which reportedly motivated his death. The rest will be split evenings amongst you. Or the goods are to be split evenly 4 ways, as this is the most fair and expedient resolution to your dispute. Although I don't think that the shy one who just stood there and watched deserves as much. She didn't really do anything. None of you are entitled to the wealth. You'll destroy the cash as it's caused a squabble between you. Nah. Half of the shares will go to Requiem for her proactive organization of the mutiny. The other half will be allocated to cover my legal fees. Nah. I don't really care about fees. For luring Arson into the trap, half of the shares will go to Calamity Jinn. The rest of you will split evenly between you. Oh wait, didn't Calamity say at one point that she doesn't really care about that she was basically willing to give up her share? Let's see. Calamity Jinn. Doesn't matter to me. I already decided to give up my share. I just wanted the bastard dead. Alright, so she doesn't care. Good. So the cash goes to Chaos for carrying the burden of risked punishment. He handled and destroyed the evidence, putting himself most at risk for being caught. Well, but then again, even if he was caught, I don't think that anyone would have cared, really. I mean, it's the Scarlet Chorus, where it's very common for the subordinates of a gang boss to challenge their boss, and then kill them if they are stronger, and then they take over the gang. So I don't really think that he was in any big of a risk. Even if he was caught, then I don't think anyone would have cared anyway. So let's see. The majority of the shares will go to Gnashing Nils in recompense for the crime she suffered at the hands of Vile. So Gnashing Nils was the shy one. I'm quite sure. The goods are to be split evenly 4 ways, as this is the most fair and expedient resolution to your dispute. Well, I think I could go with this one. It's a rather safe option. None of you are entitled to the wealth. Half of the shares will go to Requiem for her proactive organization of the mutiny. The other half will be allocated to cover my fees. No. For luring arson into the trap, half of the shares will go to Calamity Jin. Well, she said that she doesn't really care about her wealth. Or to Chaos. I think I might actually go to the safe option here. The goods are to be split evenly 4 ways, as this is the most fair and expedient resolution to your dispute. I might actually go for this one. But then again, I don't think that Gnashing Nails is really entitled to their loot in any way. I would like this option if we didn't say the other half will be allocated to cover my legal fees. I would have liked the option to give half of the loot to Requiem because she's the new boss and everything, and then the other 3 just share equally. That would have been the option I would have chosen. I would have chosen if it was here, but I don't see it here. Half of the shares will go to Requiem for her proactive organization of the mutiny. The other half will be allocated to cover my legal fees. I don't like this. And I don't think Arson. Oh wait. Calamity Jin, yeah. So, and Calamity Jin said that she didn't care about her that she didn't care about her share of the loot. She was actually willing to give it away. And I don't think that Chaos was in that big of a risk. But then again, if I choose Gnashing Nails, I don't think that they would oppose that too much. The majority of the shares will go to Gnashing Nails in recompense for the crime she suffered at the hands of vile Arson, which reportedly motivated his death. The rest will be split evenly amongst you. But then again, she didn't really do that much. You know what? Let's just pick the boring option here. The goods are to be split evenly, 4 ways, as this is the most fair and expedient resolution to your disputes. Oh, we actually got favor from that. I was actually expecting to perhaps lose a little bit favor or not get anything at all. She laughs, face singling a pleasant shade of pink under the splotches of her bloody war paint. After all that build-up, well, it ought to be fine, yeah? We didn't kill Arson for his damn rings. Even the Fatebinder thinks we should set it behind us so we can move on. I suppose I have got no complaint. He shrugs, but when he signs it sounds filled with longing for the fortune lost. Even split? Eb shakes her head, looking annoyed at some distant object in the horizon. I guess that's fine. I was hoping you would give them some mathematically baffling division of rings that would drive them balmy trying to solve. She waves a hand at you with a dismissive wag. But I suppose a boring, predictable even split is fine. Well, Eb, I agree, it was a rather boring option, but there wasn't really any other option that I liked. Blame the game for that. Okay, it really starts to feel like in this that all we are gonna do is talking in this episode as well. Oh, what do we have here? A single potion. I guess we could give that to Eb. And what do we have here? We can't talk to any of... Well, we can do like this, but we can't actually have an actual dialogue with any of them. Beast women are strong fighters, will easily dominate in Karo's packs. None of them are named, so yeah. Alright, let's go up here. I think there was another group here as well. Yeah, these. Something tells me that these 2 gangs are having... Oh wait, these guys are Scarlet Furies, and these just look like normal soldiers. So, what do we have here? Ah, there we go. Sickle nudge. We need the bodies, you mewling pissers. Face red, veins popping in her neck. The Scarlet Fury screams at the horde clustered before her. She waves her arms wildly as she shouts, almost dance-like in her agility, a blade clutched in each hand. Unlike you, cockered pignuts, these conscripts can survive a battle. One of the horde members spits a blackish mix of herb and phlegm at the Scarlet Fury's chest. So they say to save their necks. But what good's the word of oathbreakers and cowards? Furious and nearly faster than the naked eye can follow, she slashes a return strike. Splots of red blooms across the offending spitter's chest, a match to her fresh sputum stain. The crowd tenses like a coiled spring, ready to hurl themselves into a bloody fracas. What's going on here? Fatebinder. Yes, Fatebinder, good of you to come along. The horde representative sneers and straightens himself taller, feeling self-important in the moment. You just saved this Fury's neck. I find that unlikely. Scarlet Furies don't surrender their necks to anyone without a fight. Your guts would have pulled around your feet before that happened. And I just noticed that there is two former Oathbreaker Vendrian Guard soldiers there. I guess that the Scarlet Furies are... my guess is that this gang here is trying to conscript them. Oh wait, what did they say? We need the bodies, you mewling pissers. Unlike you cocked pignuts, these conscripts can survive a battle. So the Furies here want to conscript these, while these guys think that no, we should kill them because they are Oathbreakers, they're not to be trusted. Well, we're about to see. A damn slew of Oathbreakers came crawling to us less than a fortnight ago, so we trussed the lot up like beastmen for roast. Why should we welcome liars and defectors to guard our backs? The horde member spits again, but aims to the side this time, careful to avoid hitting the Scarlet Fury. Come now, Fatebinder, you're a clever sort. Tell us your thoughts. We ought to throw them in the pit. Let the lone survivor join us. It's the way of the chorus, right, boss? The pit serves for merriment and to weed out the fen-suckered weaklings like you. The Fury snaps at the horde member. Turning to you, she adds, in this case it would be but a waste of resources. These are part of the splinter that held off the Disfavored Avengers well for many months. We should integrate them into my unit of Furies. You sure you want me to weigh in? If I do, I'll be as an official envoy of the courts and irrevocable for all parties involved. I'll hear you out then. Settle this matter as a Fatebinder. The Scarlet Fury cocks a nod of agreement. I'll be sedated just to have the squabbling done with. Excuse me, but we can't win a war with only fish-necked slatterers and a sea of blood. We need skilled fighters to wield our blades. The Scarlet Chorus doesn't lack for meat to throw at the enemy, but is always in need of experience, if you ask me, and those with training should go to the Scarlet Furies. Anything less would be a waste of talent. We might be made of tearsmen, but we are loyal to Kairos. The chorus ain't an open cattle call to any turncoat who's got a sharpened weapon and a decent pair of boots. He licks a sooty thumb in thought. Toss them in the pit, boss, and I'll donate a share of the proceeds to you. The captives will go to the Scarlet Furies to aid with strategic military operations within the chorus. And besides, the Vendrian Guard is gone. They are no more. Where would these two go anyway? So why would they betray the Scarlet Chorus if they have nowhere to go anyway? The captives will fight in the pits to ensure a survivor is traditionally initiated into the chorus. The captives will be executed to dispel the discord they have raised within the chorus. Well, this is not a terrible one either. The captives will fight in the pits to ensure a survivor is traditionally initiated into the chorus, but I think I'm gonna go with this one. If these two really are that skilled, then I think that we should conscript them to the Furies. The captives will go to the Scarlet Furies to aid with strategic military operations within the chorus. And besides, my character believes in giving other people a second chance to join Kairos, and in this case, the Scarlet Chorus. So yeah, let's go with this. Favorite the Scarlet Chorus. The Scarlet Fury salutes you brusquely but with honor. I'll see them assigned to a suicide mission at once. If the henpeckers can survive that, then they'll be worthy to serve my Furies. Growing the army is the only way they can win this war. We do well to remember that. Verse not in approval. Verse not with an approval. Alright, and now that's settled. Any other interesting people here? Sanguinari. A random bloodshander. There's some loot as well. What did this give? 1 wits. Well, give it to Ep. And here. Heavy bronze crested helm. Oh. Nah, it's quite trash. Quite trash. Scraps of food and cloth litter the floor of the tent. Alright, and what's Sanguinari's steal? You do have eyes, don't you? Ones that can see how busy I am. Alright, maybe we're not supposed to speak to her now. Alright, finally, let's go and talk to the voice of Nerat himself and hear what he has to say. What he wants with us. 7 toes. I don't see 5th eye here. Bodies of Disfavored commanders are proudly displayed behind the voice of Nerat's throne. The voices want to speak with you, don't keep him waiting. Yeah, but before that I'm gonna take these fruits, because I can. Alright, so, Nerat. The voice of Nerat regards you with an unreadable expression. Ah, no voice acting. At least not yet. Shame. Putridity. Putridity. It is the fate of all, and yet so many of us are obsessed with making every waking moment leading up to it a fresh new misery. Is that our favorite fatebinder? If you had not guessed, we were contemplating the outcome at Vendrian's Well. As if proclaiming and resolving the same edict weren't impressive enough, you found the temerity to reject Graven Ash and support our right to conquer these lands. You deserve a just reward when this is over, but it's too early to congratulate ourselves while there's plenty of war still to fight. What do you need to know? We are dizzy with answers. So what's your plan? I'm ready to talk strategy. I want to ask about your power. You are a remarkable person. Would you tell me something about yourself? Well, even though my character is not too interested in the voice of Nerat's origin because she doesn't like him that much, but I am personally interested, so I think I'm gonna ask this just because of that. How do you manage an army as vast as the Scarlet Chorus? Fear-mongering, I would say. Tell me of the Scarlet Chorus tenets. I'm curious about the Scarlet Chorus's history. Alright. Well, I guess we can ask these later, and then lastly, we can talk about strategy. So I'm curious about the Scarlet Chorus's history. And why wouldn't you be? Rest a spell and let our words rickle among the chaos of your imagination. The great uninformed think of the Scarlet Chorus as one of Kairos' many armies. In fact, they are our personal force. Beginning in the earliest days of our power, we coupled together a rabble of miscreants from freshly conquered territories. The Scarlet Chorus has always been dredged from the bottom feeders. Then there are the camp followers who skulk in our long shadow. As Kairos forged the rest of the great empire, we were used to subdue any lingering resistance. Those who opposed Kairos' peace joined our howling disharmony and lived, or died, in Kairos' war. A fitting fate, is it not? By the time Kairos set a magnanimous eye on the tears, it was all but assumed that the Scarlet Chorus would lead the vanguard. Though they answer to us, we are happy to loan their services for the Overlord's pleasure. Anything else? And about the Scarlet Chorus's tenets? Tenet the first. Whatever you can claim through sheer force of will is yours for the taking. Those who think us chaotic should spend some time away from the farm and learn what it means to survive. That also means you can kill who you want. Kairos' peace extends to servants of the Empire, but these tearsmen haven't enjoyed the pleasure of our laws yet. Until they do, you can treat them like sport, and not even scratchy old Tunon will get offended. Things will get boring real fast when the war is over. Yeah, I can imagine. Any other rules, if you must call them that, fall under the umbrella of that basic philosophy. Take what you want, but give what you take. How do you manage an army as vast as the Scarlet Chorus? They manage themselves, of course. Men and women of grit rise in the ranks to become gang bosses. When they take too many wounds, or their swords grow too heavy, another boss claims their rightful place. In all our years, we have never granted a promotion. Conscripts and slaves are free to elevate their rank, or make up ranks as they go. The only condition is that they have the strength to defend the spot they carve out for themselves. Yeah, that sounds fair enough. My character likes what she hears. And, would you tell me something about yourself? Why, we are honored that you would ask. As a child, we once dreamed of standing before an endless staircase. Once you took your first step, you couldn't go back down. It's funny how much of life works that way. But we suspect that this isn't what you want to know. A puff of green mist swirls from behind his mask, taking the form of smile before this person. But we suspect that this isn't what you want to know. Yes, that's exactly it. Tell me more. You want more? Well, we are happy to indulge. We once challenged the Archon of Winds to a foot race. We won by planting a lackey at the finish line beforehand, wearing a believable replica of our mask. We got to call her the Archon of Gullibility for a decade. The Archon prattles on for several minutes, abruptly changing the subject just when your attention wanes. It's like we always said, if the Beastmen tribes recognized a quarter of their potential, they could devastate Kairos' forces. He continues on to the next subject without pausing or giving you room to speak. Archon, could I have a word? Whatever, let's just keep listening. Tunon's gavel is only as powerful as his lawful right to wield it. Think about that. Does it muddle your senses to imagine how, as it goes on, you feel as if this good-natured discussion is entering dangerous territory? Yeah, keep going. But have you plumbed with the ocean's depths, or peered into the spaces between stars? If people saw the world through our eyes, they wouldn't call us mad. We once dropped the seventh eye down a crevasse just to see what was at the bottom. We were surprised to find. You don't remember how the conversation got here, and that frightens you. Whatever, let's keep listening. The Archon talks at great length, leading you down a labyrinth of rhetoric at once alien and fascinating, sensible and mad. While the voices could sway masses, you get the impression that he is just as accustomed to jabbering to himself in isolation. You leave the experience in dumb disbelief, wondering what you have taken away from the exchange. That was incredible. Thank you. Oh, got some favor from that for listening all his rambling. The pleasure is ours. Resplendent Fatebinder. It isn't rare that we have a captive audience, but it is always amusing. Didn't we ask this already? I'm actually curious about your history. By all means, then, would you pry secrets from our green flame, or luxuriate in the calming wind of our brilliance? Well, you cannot. Every secret is as precious to us as 1,000 lies, and we will consign you to the interrogations if we find you stealing even a recipe for hardtack. I don't wish to steal your secrets, Archon, only to learn from your brilliance. Are you insane? Is that why you can't answer a simple question? Back to my other questions then. Yeah, let's just leave it at that. We are positively adrift with excitement. I like his expression here, how he moved his hands before his, well, mouth. Or one of his mouths. He just looks so excited like a child. I like that. I want to ask about your power. You are a remarkable, well, person. We must concede to your flattery, but we can't boast anything as incredible as power, can we? The green smoke behind his mask forms a crude smile. They say you are an interrogator without equal. What's your secret? as if he would answer to that. So, through powers you can't begin to understand, the Voice of Nerat steals the minds and knowledge of his victims. You know this happened often during the campaign against the Tears. What he gains from this ability beyond his apparent madness is anyone's guess. You know better than to ask him about it directly. Well, let's not do that then. What happens after you interrogate someone? Have you ever tried to absorb another Archon? Is your knowledge limitless? What happens after you interrogate someone? It's a transcendent experience. The subject and I, we grow to trust, depend upon, and even love each other. Well, that was unexpected. We have long since learned that pain and the intensity of our conversation make strange bedfellows. Applied together, anything can happen. You never know. One day you might experience it yourself. I don't like the sound of that. Have you ever tried to absorb another Archon? It amuses us to no end that you would bring that up. A brave question, full of meaning, of questions, of challenge. The Archon makes a determined fist and stares into you. We have had occasion to execute an Archon or two when Blade and Mark was unavailable. This was all within the limits of the law, you understand. Someone gets an inflated sense of self-importance and decides to start their own small empire, and we step forward to volunteer our services. The experience was always less fulfilling than we had hoped. Their personality succumbs to us, but none of their power. A waste of potential, we call it. So they can't actually have the other Archon's power. Is your knowledge limitless? What a question! We know many things beyond the purview of the disgusting farmers and merchants you'll find outside of our wanted stronghold. Much more than any of them could learn in 100 lifetimes. When you know as much as we do, this much will seem obvious. He leans uncomfortably closer to whisper. Nothing is limitless, child. Alright, let me ask you about something else. Go on then. You do well not to bore us. So what's your plan? I'm ready to talk strategy. Of course you have questions. We would be disappointed if you didn't have any. Well, I did ask quite a few of them earlier. Our first priority is to humiliate that piss bucket Graven Ash, but we'll have a better chance of it once every corner of Tears is wearing red. Do you see our design, Fatebinder? Does our madness complement our method? We will invite every man, woman or child who draws breath and occupies this fingernail of a peninsula to join the Scarlet Chorus. How do you expect to do that? If you can't outfight the Disfavored, out-recruit them. Say nothing. A conquest by invitation. How very polite. And also a bit boring, to be honest. No fighting. Don't you think everyone who was going to join you would have done so already? So if you can't outfight the Disfavored, out-recruit them. Okay, well that pissed him off a little bit. Insult our strength at your own peril, good Fatebinder. We could dismantle the Disfavored if we wanted to, at any moment. But we must not be distracted by bloodshed. We must focus on unification. Well, I guess that's true too. Damn, I didn't... Oh, I didn't realize that it would have angered him a little bit. But it's the voice of Nerat, so I don't really care too much. Conquest is a delicate matter. It needs feeding, watering, soft caresses, a lullaby before bed. We will invite the leaders of the resistance to join us. If we have their leaders, the people will follow. You will bring them to us, yes? Chiefs and the assets of chiefdom. As for how you factor into these plans, this is in part up to you. We have many ingots in the fire. It's more of a question of what piques your interests. A document of great power, the Silent Archive, rests in the Burning Library. The archive is said to hold many secrets, any of which we can twist to our advantage. One of our gang bosses, the Censor, seeks the entrance to this queenly treasure. Aid her in the search and dispatch her back to us with any findings. Tunon's arcane smiths and set up shop in Lethian's Crossing. With simple ore dredged from the heart of Terratus, they can assemble wondrous crafts of iron. Our intellect swells, overfull with secrets, yet we are ignorant of the iron secret. Seek out the Forgebound and the master who even now makes for Lethian's Crossing. Have her sent to Cacophony. I will guarantee her protection and safeguard her knowledge. An artist such as herself needs to be shielded from the perils of war. Something tells me that if I go and do that, Tunon is not going to be very pleased, because the Forgebound are in they are basically Tunon's responsibility, and I'm quite sure that he's not willing to give up even one of them to Voices of Nerat. Anyway, according to the whispers of our spies, a greybeard by the name of Eldian may be able to tell you more. We are nothing if not receptive to the wisdom of ages. Report back to us when you are finished. Our intelligence may be of use to you. What can you tell me about the Burning Library? A repository of books engulfed in the flame of Karis's edict, yet the pages refuse to burn. The sages cast protective magic over their ancient archive. Books by the 1000th layer bare for the reading, but forbidden and hot to the touch. Then there is the greatest treasure of all, the Silent Archive, an intelligent living text. Oh, well, that's very interesting. I don't remember running into intelligent living text in my first playthrough. And actually, we didn't even get to go to the Burning Library in my first playthrough. So this is going to be very first time for me to actually go there. The archive is safeguarded in the lowest depths of the library, locked away from undeserving eyes. Our Censor, dispatched to the library, seeks the archive as we speak. Tell me about the Silent Archive a little bit more. A construct of magic and knowledge. It is a mere scroll to the touch, but it contains bottomless multitudes. Each of the library's collected words giving the soil to flourish and blossom. To possess the Silent Archive is to carry the Vellum Citadel in your back pocket. And Vellum Citadel is the former name of the Burning Library. And who is your Censor? A gang boss of no small standing. She takes it upon herself to be our Department of Information, burdened with matters of secrecy and lore. We send her into conquered lands, and she returns with armloads of scrolls for our perusal. Alright. And what can you tell me about the Lethian's Crossing? Well, I do know it quite well, since we were there in my first playthrough, but in case you don't know, the Forgebound are the true gem of the crossing. They are keepers of the secret of iron, so a tight-lipped bunch by nature. Who is the Forgebound master? Much like ourselves, Zednia is an artist first, taciturn, stubborn, infuriatingly talented. She cares not what master commissions her work, only that she has the freedom to create. We understand that she carries a piece of great importance to Lethian's Crossing. From all accounts, it is a craft of queenly value. And about the Forgebound in general? Must you bore us with your incessant ponderings? Go speak with our lackey, Seven Toes. She can weather the relentless assault of your curiosity. So she means this one here. Well, let's see, but I wasn't finished. Death surrounds us, but it would be useless to avoid inevitability. This is a legend-graven ash, and his fast clothing army will never understand as they scramble to avoid the grave. Welcome back, Fatebinder. What do you need to know? Looks like I'm bound for the Burning Library. Latian's Crossing sounds like a fine prospect. Let's see. We're tired of talking to you. Go speak to our lackey Sevento. She can listen to your prattle. Well, fine. Alright, so. Looks like I'm bound for the Burning Library. All Latian's Crossing sounds like a fine prospect. I do kinda like to go to the Burning Library, because like I said, I didn't actually get to go there in my first playthrough. So that's going to be a whole new place for me. But then again, we are going to go to both of these places, I'm quite sure. So, excuse me. So let's start with the Burning Library, and then later we go for the Latian's Crossing. So, looks like I'm bound for the Burning Library. Do not forget our prize, Fatebinder, the Silent Archive. We will enslave wisdom itself for the glory of the Scarlet Chorus.
Our time together has not gone to waste.
Aha, I'm back at the level. Nice. Alright, how long have I been playing? Over an hour. Yeah. Okay, folks, it looks like this episode became about just as uneventful, maybe boring even to some of you, and just like the last one, because all we did was just talk to people. But okay, so the Burning Library is here. And then here is the Broken Plains Wilderness, where we have to go and kill the Disfavored soldiers and pick up their fingers so we can sell them to that, whatever his name was, up back here in Cacophony, and get some, was it 10 or 15 rings each? I could always use the money. Okay, so in the last episode, and also, let's check the. I don't think we have got any new missives. Nope. I think we should also try to create a new spell, perhaps for Ep. Alright, so here's my plan for the next episode. So first, we leave Cacophony and go back to our mountain spire in Vendrian's Well. We take Lantry in our party, replacing Barrick, and then we go to the Burning Library from there and try to find that scroll. And then after we are done with this, we go to Latian's Crossing, where the Sunset Spire is. But something tells me that will be in the Burning Library for the next 2, maybe 3 episodes or so, and then we go to the Latian's Crossing. And then after that, at some point, we go to Broken Plains Wilderness and deal with the Disfavored there. But one thing that I'm a little bit confused about is that how can we get to the Bastard Wound? Because if I'm not mistaken, we can get there during the second act. And yet I haven't got any quests or missives or anything that even mentions that the place's existence. Yeah, I don't know, but I'm sure that we'll figure it out eventually, and we can actually get to the Bastard's Wound at some point. But yeah, we'll find out eventually, I'm sure. But yeah, I'm now gonna end this episode here. Oh, and we also have to give. Let's just do it now, so I don't need to do it next time. All right, so for you, I was thinking about giving him Might, but I think I should give him something else too. I think that at this point of the game I should focus more on the defensive stats and talents, because the enemies are going to be a lot tougher in the second act now. Or at least that's what I think and expect. Let's just give him bonus health and will defense, why not? And then talents. When Barrick is in the party, all party members gain bonus experience for athletics, one-handed and two-handed skills. Alright. Stance, legs of iron. Root in place, gaining immunity to push and prone effects, and a large boost to endurance at the cost of the ability to move. That sounds rather bad. What do we have here? Fight defensively, gaining bonus to armor. Allows Barrick to engage an additional enemy. After using Glass of Iron, Barrick will attack twice with his normal strikes for a short time. This could actually be rather good. Pursuit. At the start of combat, Barrick gains a large boost to movement speed for a short time. This is not terrible either. And what about these? Glory to the Bold. For each enemy engaging Barrick, or each enemy engaging him, Barrick gains a bonus to any damage he deals. That sounds very good. Suffering to Strength. Once per combat, when Barrick's health is critical, he gains a bonus to Might and Resolve until combat ends. Fuck yes, that sounds very good. So basically, when his health is critical and he gains this bonus, and we can then use Lantry to heal him, and then he will still have that Might and Resolve bonus. Or at least that's how I think it works. That sounds very good. And I think that we should pick this. Gain a chance to attack enemies as they engage you, because these two will go hand in hand quite well. For each enemy engaging him, Barrick gains a bonus to any damage he deals. So let's just pick this one. And then next time we could pick this, and then pick these two. Not that we are gonna use Barrick that often, but still. Alright, so let's look at our status with our factions and characters and such. So the Scarlet Chorus like us very much. The Disfavored still dislike us. Avenger and Guard, they hate our guts. Lantry is mostly loyal. Barrick is fearful of us. Verse is very loyal with us. And Eb is quite loyal, but she's still scared shitless of us. Tunon mostly likes us. Graven Ass hates our guts, of course. The Voices of Nerat, he likes us a little bit more, but yeah, he's not our biggest fan. And Blade and Mark mostly favor. Alright. Okie dokie. So now I'm gonna end this episode here, and in the next episode, well, like I said, we'll be going back to our base, take Lantry to our powder, replacing Barrick, and then we go to Burney Library and see what horrors awaits us there. So, thank you for watching once again, and see you next time for more Tyranny.